Hello, everyone, and welcome to Midlife Crisis. That intro sounds weird. I'm just going to be me right now. I don't have that crazy hyper energy right now, so this is what you get. Hi, I'm Erica Hernandez, and this is Midlife Crisis? Nope, just following my Delulu dreams. That thing I did with my hand, that was a question mark, and I don't think it came off on camera. So, YouTube, YouTube listeners, watchers, sorry, and audio listeners, well, you didn't get to see all that. You just didn't know. You didn't know I did it, and that's all good. So today my setup's a little bit different. I'm recording in the normal platform that I record the podcast in, but I'm also using my phone to record because the phone has better camera quality than my computer, and I'm trying to put this on YouTube, and so I'm just testing it out, see if it makes a difference, and if not, then I won't use it because sometimes getting the footage onto my computer takes a while. I try to do AirDrop. Sometimes that doesn't work. Right now, my iCloud storage is full, and they're telling me to pay for more storage, which I'm just going to go in there and delete a bunch of things I don't need, which I have to make the time for, which maybe is today. But I'm just testing this out, see how this works, see how it's working, and if it doesn't work, well, then we're back to using the lower resolution on my computer, the camera for my computer. I do need to invest in a new computer, but like I said last week, if you want to make some donations and help me invest in equipment and all that, let me know. I'll send you my Venmo. Let me know. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe, Erica's podcast account or something like that. This is really weird. That's weird for me to ask because I am so not used to asking for help, especially when it comes to money. That's like so weird for me. Like, there's a few people that I will ask for money from, and even then I feel weird asking them for money. But I see a lot of creators do that, and so I'm just gonna follow suit. I am going to not, just be a follower, do what they do. Okay? 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 Okay. Well, today's episode, let me get comfortable. Let me get closer to the mic because sometimes my audio is off. Well, today's episode, we are in Ep.6, and today we're going to talk about perfectionism and how it's sabotaging you. Sabotage? I could speak. English very well. Very good. I speak English very good. I speak it very good. Um, I don't know what accent that was. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I tried to channel my Mexican accent, but it may come off something another way, a different way. Okay. So today, Ep.6, today we're going to talk about perfectionism and how it's sabotaging you. And right now, I'm in my head about perfectionism because as I'm saying this, I'm like, wow, I started this podcast off on a wrong foot. But I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to post it and let it be. Let it be as imperfect as it needs to be. This is actually my maybe second time recording this, which is one of the reasons, which really leads into our updates and upgrades segment because, ooh, there's so much I want to talk about there. So much I want to talk about in that segment. But first off, I want to talk about Archie. Archie the Diva. He is in the room right now. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt whenever I record these podcasts, but he starts barking as soon as I hit record. He's like going crazy. And so this time I decided, you know what, Archie, he can't be here with mom until I'm done recording. So he's in the room right now, and he doesn't bark when he's in the room. He just barks when he wants attention, I guess. I don't know. We went on a really long walk this morning, and then I came back home and I was doing my makeup, getting ready to go to the farmer's market, and he was barking at me. And I'm like, dude, buddy, I just took you on an hour and a half long walk. Like, we usually don't go for that long of a walk, but he just was like barking at me. I was like, I don't know. I walked you, I fed you. I don't know what else you need from me. And I just kept doing my makeup. I just ignored him. But um, the first topic in our updates and upgrades is consistency. So, as you have noticed, there has been a little bit of a time gap between my episodes. And that's just mainly because I'm trying to get my footing, trying to embody my new schedule and embody it in a way that is not from a place of burnout. In the past, when I've had podcasts before, I've really burnt myself out, and I'm still healing from that. And so, a lot of times after work, I feel very exhausted and tired, and I don't have the capacity to edit. Like, I have time, time is there, but my energetic levels are very low. And just sometimes watching myself back when I'm in that headspace gives me the ick. It's like, ugh, God, no, what am I doing? And so I'm really paying attention to that, and posting when, not like when I feel like it, right? It's just more understanding my energy and understanding, what's the word I'm looking for, is understanding that I'm doing this out of love instead of out of should power or willpower, and really embodying the schedule that I am trying to create for myself, to let this flow and let this be more consistent than what it is, and not beating myself up when I miss a week or anything like that. So the consistency will come. And one thing's for sure is that I'll keep this podcast going, because it is my creative outlet and it's something that I have a lot of control over. And I do believe that this podcast and the things that I'm learning, like in my day to day life, and learning about pursuing my dreams in my 40s and really going after it, is really going to help people. I do believe that. I really, really do. And this is why I'm putting my story out there. And this is why I'm on camera, on the mic, talking about all this stuff and all my upgrades and all my insecurities. I'm bringing the insecurities up into the world. But I know that by me sharing, it just will help other people that feel alone, that feel oh so alone in their journey, in their artistic journey. Um, so let me look at my notes and see if I forgot anything on that, the inconsistency. No, I didn't forget anything. It was just, I just put in here that make sure that I write down. But the pod will keep going, is what I told myself. The other upgrade I had this week was, I had a big, massive revelation yesterday. Um, you know that saying, the early bird gets the worm? That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's like the biggest lie I ever heard. Why? Because yesterday I got up at 11 a.m. I usually wake up at 5 a.m. And I feel that I got more done than I usually do ever. Ever. It's been a long time since I felt that I got that much done, that I was that productive, and productive in my creative projects. Usually during the work week, um, when I work, I wake up at 5 a.m. I go walk my dogs. Sometimes I'll go work out. Sometimes I go for a walk, or sometimes I just have like time to journal and take things slow, like have a slow morning and just mentally prepare myself for the day. And then I go to work and then I get off and I'm just like, tired of things that I'm doing at work, or even if the day's not long at work, sometimes I'm thinking about the creative projects that I have, and I'm just like everywhere. So by the time I log off, I feel like I can't get anything done. I completely like shut down. Such a big shutdown. And this past week, I only worked 2 days last week because on Wednesday I had a procedure, which I had talked a little bit about the week before. Nothing big. I just had a cyst removed, but given where the cyst was at, they had to put me under. So I took the day of the procedure off, obviously, because I was going to be under anesthesia. There was no way I was going to get back to work. But I took the following 2 days off just to fully rest and not to have any worries about anything. And the fact that I had no responsibilities for 2 days straight really just like sparked some motivation in me. Yesterday, which was Friday, I didn't have an intention to be creative. I just woke up, and the night before, I was just like, tomorrow's just another day without responsibilities. I'm just gonna see what my intuition is telling me to do. So when I woke up, I was like, I gotta finish episode 5. I have to finish editing that. And I do want to start recording episode 6, which I recorded the first draft yesterday. And today I'm like, I feel a little bit better. I want to re record episode 6. And I was done with that, but the sun was still up. Right? So then I decided to go through old reels I had created in the spring and see what still resonated with me. And I had this pull to post again, post on Instagram and post reels about these things that I had talked about back in the day, meaning spring. And it didn't come from a place that like I need to post and I want to grow my Instagram account. It just came from a place of like, this feels fun. This feels right. And I just want to share with the world what I did. Because some of those videos, I had characters, and I think it's just really, for me, just powerful to share my message and share my creativity with the world. And so when the day was over, like when I was done, I was like, oh, I woke up at 11. I took a shower. I didn't really start doing anything till like 1 or 2, and now it's like 7:30 and I don't feel tired. I'm done with everything that I need to do today, or what I felt like doing today, but I got a lot done, and I was like, wow, by me sleeping in and resting and having a full morning just gone, I actually got the worm. Like, as opposed to other days, even days that I don't work, where I wake up really early and I'm like, I'm going to do this, and this. And by the time noon comes, I'm completely burnt out and tired, and I have nothing done. I haven't been productive in the things I want to be productive in. And I think that came from a place, yesterday. I think I was able to be productive because I had the day before a full day of nothing. I the the day before yesterday was the day after my procedure, and I woke up and I was like, I'm just going to watch TV. I'm going to read a book. I'm just going to do whatever. Like I'm just going to eat. Like I'm just going to have food because I was still recovering from the procedure. And so I just really made sure that that day I had no responsibilities. My only responsibility was to feed myself and feed my dogs and walk my dogs. And I went on a few short walks with them, but I really didn't do anything. And then by the next day, I just had this like renewed energy to do something. Um, and the thing that like the message that I got from the universe was move slow, go slow, take the rest, but fully rest, like have a day without responsibilities. And it's so hard when I'm back at work. I feel like it's really hard. So I'm still trying to figure out like have these days where there's absolutely no responsibilities when I'm back at work, when I start going back to work on Monday and have catering shifts and have classes, and how do I how do I continue that momentum, because I felt so motivated yesterday. I felt so alive, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like what I want to do." I got a glimpse of what a day of a creative entrepreneur looks like, and I really was like, "Wow, this feels really good." And I also got a glimpse of a day of a creative entrepreneur fully resting, like fully resting. And I feel like because I have this full time job, and then I have catering on the side, then I have the social life, then I have these creative things that I want to do, that I don't put in time for a day where I'm just really like no responsibilities. And I have had days where I don't have responsibilities, but in my mind, I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. And what the difference was on Thursday, the day after my procedure, is I really went in there and was like, I don't have responsibilities. Like, I'm not going to worry about cleaning. I'm not going to worry about anything, because I was, I had something that was, I had a procedure the day before, and this is like my full day of rest. And so, really, really figuring out how to incorporate that in my day to day, not my day to day, but in my weekly schedule, I think is going to be crucial and very important if I want to move forward in this creative entrepreneur world, right? So I'm still figuring that out. I have to message my coach and be like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this on a regular basis? Because that excitement and that love again for creating podcasts and creating reels was back. Where sometimes, even though I love this podcast, sometimes it does feel like it has a little bit of weight, and it feels like I have to get this off the ground. I have to get listeners, I have to get followers, because then it's able to make an income, and then I'm able to leave my job if I make sufficient amount of money off of this, or able to pay off debt quicker, or able to save faster. And so what I really, really know right now, the universe is telling me to, it's like, slow down, slow the F down, just slow down, slow down. Everything will be figure outable. Just slow down and follow your intuition and those intuitive pulls, which is really, really hard. Really hard for someone that is just very, very much accustomed to like work, 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 you know, and that early bird gets the worm mentality is what I grew up with. Um, so that's a current thing that I'm totally dismantling. That current belief, it's a current belief that I'm dismantling and redirecting and creating new beliefs around it to make sure that it ensures my success. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I need water. I don't know why it sounded like I was constipated. Because that belief system's really stuck in me, and it's stuck in there like constipation. Like I'm constipated. So I do want to celebrate before we go into our main topic. I do want to celebrate. So the other day, one of the reels for the podcast got its first hate comment. Yes, we're going to celebrate that. Because first off, we're celebrating that it reached random corners of the internet that I didn't know existed. So we're going to celebrate the fact that it got reach, that reel got reach, and that somebody had the time and energy to comment on it. The reel was about, and I'm laughing because the reel was about me talking about how cringe, that I'm not cringe, that I'm redirecting that word and I'm substituting quirky, and quirky's cute. And the person in my comment, of course, it was a man. It was a man. He said, I'll just call you a loser. When I saw that message, I was like, kind of laughing. I was like, okay, why would you even say that? I don't even know you. Like, you don't even know me. And the fact that like my first reaction was just to laugh shows so much growth that I've done in the past few years, because in the past few years, if ever I got like a negative comment, and this one's, I've gotten like lighter comments. I haven't even gotten like that bad of a like bad comments, but like I feel like this one's kind of maybe one of the worst that I got. But the other comments that I've gotten, like I wasn't able to handle it, and even though I was like, I know it's not true, I just let it get to me. So there was one time I got some, I think I made a reel about like ice baths and I like associate it to like my family came to this country to like take warm baths and not do ice baths because I don't fully believe in the ice bath thing, but I know people are really into it, but I'm like, well, my family immigrated here so that I could have the luxuries in life. Why am I going to be in an ice cold bathtub? Like I could afford hot water. But somebody was like, the multiple people were like talking about how they were annoyed with my voice, and there were certain things that I said and like, oh, you're speaking like a stereotypical Latina, and I was just like trying to be funny in the video. And so I remember just kind of knowing that I was like, well, you don't have to listen to me, right? Like you could just unfollow and not watch my video. But I think it really got to me, and um I think I hid the video, or deleted it. I like was like, no, like I don't want this attention. And I also felt the pressure of like commenting back, even though there were negative comments. I felt the pressure to comment back because I was like, well, if I comment back, it's just gonna like help the algorithm and it's gonna help me grow. But I didn't want that attention, and at the same time, I wanted to delete the messages, but I didn't delete them because I was like, well, if I delete the messages, then this reel won't grow, and I won't get like the people that I want. I won't get people like looking at my page, and it was just like this whole downward spiral of like hating the comments, not wanting to delete them because I wanted growth, and but like just there was just so much. And this time around, like I saw the comment and I was just laughing, like I was like, okay, loser. Like you're calling me a loser, but you're actually the loser. Like, why are you spending your time calling me a loser if you don't even know me? I'm not even talking about anything like political. I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about how I felt cringy, and that I decided that cringy is just another word for quirky, and that quirky's cute. Like, okay. And then I went to go look at his page, and he had like two photos, and it was pretty much a spam account. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this person just spams people and tries to like scam people. Like I'm pretty sure this person just tries to scam people out of money or something. Like it looked like those accounts that were like somewhere in a random jungle somewhere, and they found an iPhone, and they're trying to like scam you for money. Like it really did feel like that account. And without hesitation or thought, I just deleted the comment and blocked the person. Cuz I like, not that like I just didn't like want that negativity on my page, and I don't want to like look at the hate comments. So if like you're going to be a loser and comment how you're going to call me a loser, then you don't get to be on my page. Sorry, no, bye-bye. Yeah, and I thought that was just something cool to celebrate and talk about. That I like overcame a lot. Now, if like my best friend was on there and called me a loser, I would probably cry. So that's like another level of healing I have to do. But first off, my best friend wouldn't be on there calling me a loser. They would not do that. But like for example, Leia would not even do that to me. Like no, that's not even in her vocabulary towards me. But I wanted to share this because I want to celebrate, and we got to celebrate the haters because that means we're getting seen, guys. We're getting seen. All right, so into our main topic. What did I call this? Perfectionism. How our perfectionism is sabotaging us, and how to overcome it. How to overcome the perfectionism. So, For me, how I always overcome things, what I've noticed is having a good understanding of where this need to be perfect comes from. And this is, this is not an ad, but it should be. If you guys know, that is a Hey Sister or Soul Sister reference, because Leia used to always say that. So in the spring, I read this book called The Artist's Way. And The Artist's Way, and I'll show you guys, is a spiritual bath. um, the Artist's Way, it's a little bit more than a book. It's really a creativity course for the lost artist. She likes to call people that haven't explored or have denied or suppressed, that's the best word to put it, people that have suppressed their creativity their entire life. She calls them shadow artists. So this is specifically for shadow artists, or any artist actually that just wants to elevate their skills. But it's a creative course. It's a 12-week creative course. Dochi did this. And it's a spiritual path to higher creativity. This book is about over 30 years old. I don't really know when it was first published. I just know it's over 30 years old because I have the 30th anniversary edition. Um, and in this book, when I started reading this, I really started to see why I felt the way I felt and why certain things felt more of a struggle to me than others. For example, when I started taking acting classes in LA, I told one of my friends, and he's not a shadow artist, and he really didn't understand why it was such a struggle for me to sign up. And he was just kind of like, no, like, just do it, girl. Like, you got this. And I was like, yeah, but I'm feeling all these things. And he was just like, why? And I was like, I just do. And when I dove into the Artist's Way, it really helped me understand that. So we're gonna fast forward to this past weekend, week 3 of improv class, and I was faced with the need to be perfect. This past week in improv class, we started to hit on concepts, on techniques that are my weaknesses in improv. Yes, those techniques are I'm not very strong at. And every time I did the activity and the exercises, I came out of there just feeling defeated, feeling like I did it all wrong, feeling like everyone was judging me. And then, even like 2 days after class, I was like, "Oh, I did that activity wrong. I should have done it this way, or I should have said this, or I should have done this." And I was just in the world of should haves, and like what was supposed to be a fun class and a class to expand my skills all of a sudden was something that I was feeling a lot of not what's the word? I was just feeling a lot of like not hatred towards there's a word that I'm trying to say, but I just felt this very negative energy towards it, and I felt like I wanted to give up. I felt like, okay, well, I'm not going to take any classes after this. I can't wait for it to be done. I'm over this. I just don't want to do this anymore, which I know isn't 100% true. I know that I want to take more classes, and I know that I love improv, but it was kind of one of those things that I just felt very defeated. And no one in my class made me feel that way. We even met up afterwards, and we talked about how everyone felt supported. We didn't feel like people were getting mad at us if we didn't make the right choices. And I'm going to put that in quotes because it's improv. Like, we all understood that we are there to learn and to grow, and everyone has a different skill level, and that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not understand, that we're a safe space for us to explore our creativity. That's really what was happening in that conversation. And I just felt like, man, I just suck. No one wants to play with me. No one understands me. I'm not going to find my community. And it just, like, I was spiraling, guys. I was effing spiraling. I was just like, all I want is to, like, have friends that I can make funny videos with and create and, maybe have, like, a channel or write a play, not a play, but like write a show with them. And I want to have a group of friends that are creatives and that I could collaborate with. Like that's really one of my biggest goals aside from everything else is really having a group of creatives that nurture me and that I get to work with, and that's what I ultimately want. And so I was just like in my head about it. And I was just like, why? Like, I know it's okay. I know I'm going to go back. One of the things that my coach, Marley, had told me is like, no matter what, even if you do it bad, just keep reminding yourself, I'm going to do it anyway. So, Sunday after class, I kept telling myself, like, I don't care if I suck today. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. But the problem is I did care. I did care if I sucked. And I took the time, I can't remember what day. It was either Monday. It was Monday. I took Monday and Tuesday. I took those days to really just process my thoughts and journal. And I talked to Marley, and one of the things Marley asked me was, what was I making it mean if I'm not perfect at improv? And I just said a lot of the things that that answer that question, but the main thing was it's like I'm never going to find my community, like creative friends and creative collaborators. I'm never going to enjoy work. So like, I'm never going to find a job that I love and I'm going to be stuck in my job, and that I'm not meant for this creative career. Like this creative career is not meant for me, and that I'm not worthy of it. And the other thing, the main thing I think underneath it all was like, I'm never going to find happiness. That just came to me. I didn't have that written down, but I think one of the biggest things that I'm making it mean is that I'm never going to find like true happiness, because when I first went into that class and previous other improv classes is I really found my joy in improv. And so struggling with the specific concept and technique last week made me feel like, okay, I'm not gonna find happiness. That's really what I'm making it mean. I haven't answered her because I was going to go into surgery. I had my procedure, so I was like, okay, these are things to think about post op, and I wanted to like talk it through in this podcast. I know, guys, we're in real time. We're working through my shit in real time, y'all. And so Tuesday morning or Monday morning, whichever day that was, when I was journaling and looking at that stuff, I definitely pulled out the artist's way and had the thought of like, I didn't have the exact thought to that answer, like what am I making this mean? But I knew that I was making it mean something more than what it wasn't, right? And so when I went to the artist's way to pull a quote or find this paragraph that I found a while back, and I could not find it. When I find it, I'll let you guys know in what chapter it was. But mainly, what the author was saying was, somebody that's a shadow artist like me is we we set very high expectations for ourselves. We expect to be basically perfect when we're trying something that is our passion. And we want to be perfect at it because we want to prove our naysayers wrong. Be so our naysayers, whether it was our parents, friends, teachers, somebody once told us that we weren't meant for this thing because A, B, and C. And so we we set our standards really high. We 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 set our standards really high and we expect ourselves to be at the level of someone that's been training for longer time than us, insert whatever time that is here, but somebody that's an expert or somebody that's a professional, right? We expect to be able to perform like someone in the big leagues when we're just at level 1. And so when we do the thing we want to do and we're at level 1, we beat ourselves up and we just go, oh my God, they were right. Our naysayers were right. We're not meant to do this. And so we discourage ourselves and then never really go after the dream or stop the dream because we're like, well, we're not good enough. And I guess they were right because we have that deep rooted belief system. It's not ours, it's somebody else's, but we have this deep rooted belief system that if we're meant to do something, we're supposed to be perfect right off the bat. That's like kind of what that what that paragraph that I can't find was saying. But even though that concept was in some paragraph in the middle of this book kind of repeats itself. Its concepts are repeated over and over again. And so I went to chapter 1. I'm going to share with you some of the quotes that really resonated and and are similar to the lost quote that I cannot find. Okay. As a rule of thumb, shadow artists judge themselves harshly. That is number 1. And one of the things we also do as shadow artists is we don't allow ourselves to play. So she says creativity is play, but for the shadow artist, learning to allow themselves to play is hard work because that's the like setting those expectations high, right? The improv classes is just me to play and explore, but I want to be perfect and therefore I'm hard on myself because it's hard work for me to just let go and allow myself to play. She also says here that learning to let yourself create is like learning to walk. The shadow artist must begin by crawling. Baby steps will follow, but there will be falls. Typically, the recovering shadow artist will use these early efforts to discourage continued exploration. Judging your early artistic efforts is artist abuse. Yeah. Yeah, that last one. That last one. So basically, perfectionism and not allowing ourselves to play and not allowing ourselves to be messy and not allowing ourselves to explore and make mistakes in our creative projects or creative ventures is abusive to ourselves. It's abusive to our shadow artist. And as I mentioned before, we're in level 1, so we're learning to walk. And before we need to learn to walk, we need to learn how to crawl. And before we even learn how to crawl, we have to build the muscles to be able to crawl. We have to build the muscles to be able to stand up. We got to learn the balance and again continue to build our muscles to be able to walk and move. And so in that process of learning to walk, we're going to fall. I mean, how many times have you seen a kid just start like walking out of nowhere? It takes them a while, and sometimes some of them get scared because they do take a hard fall and it scares them and they kind of like regress. So that's kind of what we as shadow artists are doing. And so it's really important to let go of the perfectionism and be okay to create art just to create art, to have fun with art, but not have perfect art. Let it be messy. Let it be just something that you're building on. And I think I've mentioned this before, but go back to artists that you really enjoyed and go listen to their, like, if it's a singer, like maybe their first song, or if it's a painter, maybe their first artwork, or 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 actors or online personnel, go back to their first videos. Maybe their first video sucked. I think I talked about this, like Pinka Patel. She had some videos out there that weren't like super great, but now her videos are different different, and she found her voice and she found a way, and now they're really funny. And so it's about learning how to be an artist and growing those muscles in order to find the voice and find the way to that find the way that find your way of artistic expression. That's what I was trying to say. Find your way of artistic expression that is fulfilling and fun for you. And it's not always easy. It's not going to be easy. As example, exhibit A right here, I really took last week's class to heart, and even Thursday morning I woke up with just like thoughts like, oh God. And even this morning, it's Saturday and I have class tomorrow, I'm just like, oh, whoa, I don't want to make those mistakes again. But I'm just like, well, make the mistakes, don't think about it, just do the activities, do what is in your heart, take some deep breaths, go slow. I mentioned this before in my updates and upgrades, but it also in 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 training in training my skills of improv and training my skills of acting, is there's also this element of just going slower, really observing and taking my time and allowing spirit to come in and channel my creativity. Because when we're moving fast, sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel or listen to our bodies and listen to our brain. That source is telling us, like, we are downloading information from source as creatives. And so when we're just everywhere, we're not allowing that full full what is it, channel, that full frequency. I don't know what's the word, but we're not letting that we're not keeping the lines clear, okay? Like, when you're on the phone, like, we're not clearing a path to be able to communicate to source for our creativity. So it's about, stepping back and moving slower, and it's about allowing things to be bad and create bad art and be messy and mess up. And but at the end of it, have fun doing it badly. Yeah. Yeah. That's it, guys. That's it. That's our show for today. Sorry if I sounded a little bit more mellow. I just felt more mellow today. Um, do all the things, right? Subscribe, share, tell your friends, do everything to help this podcast grow, get the word out, help me get the word out. And until next time, stay delulu. Do 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 do.